Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a real tale of two labors. What happens when childbirth gets stuck in first gear versus when it just rockets through the finish line at, well, dangerous speeds.
Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to explore what happens when labor hits those extremes. We'll be looking at two super high-stakes conditions: hypotonic contractions, which is when things are just way too slow, and precipitate labor, where everything is happening dangerously fast.
So, what is the difference between too slow and too fast in the delivery room? Really defining these extremes is crucial because it sets the stage for two completely different clinical stories. So, on one side, you've got hypotonic contractions. You can think of them as these weak, infrequent pulses that just don't have the power to get the job done. The cervix isn't dilating, and labor just stalls out. Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have precipitate labor, a relentless, rapid-fire progression from the very start to the absolute finish. And to really put that speed into perspective, precipitate labor is officially defined as lasting less than 3 hours. That's from the very first contraction to the baby's arrival. Can you imagine? It's an absolute whirlwind that leaves almost no time to prepare or adapt. What's so fascinating here is how these two opposite speeds create their own unique but equally serious sets of risks. It really shows you that in childbirth, tempo is everything. With a slow hypotonic labor, the dangers are really about endurance and momentum. As the process drags on for hours, sometimes even days, the mother is facing complete physical and emotional exhaustion. The biggest fear is something called arrest of progress, where labor just stops. And that often requires some major intervention. Now, on the flip side, the sheer intense speed of precipitated labor can be pretty traumatic. Tissues just don't have time to stretch properly, which leads to a really high risk of severe lacerations. That intensity also significantly increases the chance of postpartum hemorrhage, which is a critical, life-threatening complication. And it's not just the mother. The baby faces serious risks too. Those relentless, powerful contractions can actually reduce oxygen flow, creating a risk of hypoxia. And the sudden, dramatic pressure changes as the baby descends so quickly can even lead to potential head trauma or intracranial injury. So how do medical teams respond to this? Well, the goals of care are polar opposites because the core problem in each scenario is just fundamentally different. Let's take a look at the plan of action for each one. For a slow labor, the goal is pretty clear: stimulate and coordinate. You encourage movement, use gravity to help the baby descend, you make sure mom is hydrated and has an empty bladder so the uterus has maximum space to do its thing. And if that's not enough, oxytocin is often used to directly ramp up the strength and frequency of contractions, all while, of course, keeping a close eye on mom's energy levels. But for a rapid labor, the priorities shift entirely. The most important rule: do not fight it. You do not try to slow it down. Instead, the focus is all on managing the situation, supporting a controlled delivery to minimize trauma, being immediately prepared for neonatal resuscitation because of those high risks we talked about, and vigilantly checking for hemorrhage right after. It's all about mitigation, not resistance. So the crucial point in all of this, the thing you really need to remember, boils down to one key difference in clinical philosophy. It neatly summarizes both of these conditions. And this chart just captures the two stories perfectly. For hypotonic labor, the problem is weak contractions, the risk is exhaustion, and the goal is stimulation. For precipitate labor, the problem is overwhelming speed, the risks are trauma and hypoxia, and the goal is simply safe management and support. See? Totally different playbooks. Ultimately, it really comes down to this. You have two completely different labors, requiring two totally opposite strategies, but with one single unified goal: a safe delivery for both mother and child. So this leaves us with a final thought to chew on. By understanding these outer limits, the slowest of the slow and the fastest of the fast, it gives us a much deeper appreciation for the remarkable physiological journey that happens right in the middle. It really truly highlights what a finely tuned process a normal labor really is.